Y'all, this thing looks frickin' amazing. This is called Eternal Hunters The Branford Legacy, and it's actually being developed for the SNES. Yeah, we've seen some games developed before for the Game Boy Color, even Sega Genesis, but nothing really developed for the SNES, which is what I grew up on, and here this is, and I do want to tell you all about it today, and I definitely do think that's worth the sub, is you come and you join a party and you level on up with me. With your sub, your like, and your hype, it helps me out a ton. Thank you so much for that. So this was brought to my attention by a viewer, Zenithan. He sent me an email the other day. He was like, hey David, check this out. And I was like, whoa, this looks really freaking cool. I have the trailer playing above me, which was released 9, 10 or so days ago. It is by a French developer, so I have translated it thanks to the power of my telephone and Google Lens. So you can read everything that it says right there if you are like me and you don't speak French. So this looks to be like a Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana inspired action RPG. It looks so cool, but it also might have some Final Fantasy VI thing going on here since it is called the Branford Legacy. And if you know anything about Final Fantasy VI, you know that Terra's last name is Branford, so maybe there is something there as well. It just looks to be hitting all the right notes for me as far as that's concerned. It looks like it's going to be starring 2 different characters with cooperative play. It shows them like dual casting a spell together, kind of like a Chrono Trigger combination tech sort of thing. Looks really nice, giving me Evermore vibes, you know, with them, you know, fighting together 2 on 2 and all that. It looks just absolutely amazing. Another really cool thing is it has a really good composer for the soundtrack as well. And I'm going to butcher this, I'm very sorry. It's Raphael Gescua? Yeah, so he has, he's done the soundtracks for a lot of other games as well, so that's really cool, and there is a Kickstarter planned for it as well, and I don't really talk a lot about a lot of Kickstarters, because I feel like if I talk about one, I end up having to talk about them all. I'll get a billion emails, David, talk about my Kickstarter, but I just saw this, and it looks so cool. It has time travel like Chrono Trigger, has the action RPG elements like Secret of Mana, and another thing is, I feel like this is what Meru Island was going to be, something along those lines. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's because you didn't grow up whenever I did. So let's go back in time to the 1990s, whenever the SNES was coming out, and they talked about putting a CD-ROM add-on to it and partnering with PlayStation, and that add-on never came to fruition, as we all know, and that's whenever Sony got into the market with their PlayStation and Nintendo kept the cartridges with the N64 and all that kind of stuff. But we know we know even more about that now because Square Enix was going to be creating a game called Meru Island. At least that was the code name of it, Meru Island, and it was going to be Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana. They actually started off as like the same actual project, the same thing, which was a collaboration with Akira Toriyama as well. And they knew about this right around the development of Final Fantasy IV, and then they found out, oh, hey, you know what? The CD add-on is never actually going to happen. We're going to take what we have, and we're going to split it off into 2 separate games. We're going to take this Meru Island game, and we're going to create the action RPG portion as Secret of Mana, which was going to be the very first game released on the little CD-ROM add-on, and you can tell that it was really rushed. That the second half, it's like the first half of the game, it's like, wow, it takes so long to get these first 4 elements, and the second half of the game, it's like, boom, 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 here are your 4 elements, boom, and then go and fight the final boss. You know, you can really tell that it was rushed by the end of the game, so you can tell that they left a lot on the cutting room floor for the original Secret of Mana, and then they spent some more time, 2 more years, and then they created, you know, the rest of it with the combination and all that, and then they created Chrono Trigger with the time traveling and all that kind of stuff. So that's really freaking cool. There's actually quite a lot of information about Project Meru within a Seiken Densetsu music soundtrack book, which came out in 2011 for the Mana series 20th anniversary, if you do want to read a bit more about that. And I'll just include a link here if you want to read up a little bit more about that, if you didn't know anything about that. I know this kind of stuff because I'm just a little bit obsessed. But anyway, this game here looks amazing. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and as always, have a good day.